Hello and happy new year, and thank you so much for being here. I hope that your year started well. Mine started busy, and today I wanted to share with you the project that I have managed to finish so far. And this project, I started it last year, but I didn't finish it last year. For some reason, I was targeting to finish it before Christmas, but it did not work that way. So I finished it this year, and that is what I want to share with you. And it's so huge. So I'm just gonna show you like a close-up of it here. And then I have a picture of it. I have an entire picture of the whole blanket. So I'm going to insert it somewhere. But that is my blanket that I just finished this year. It's really, really huge. I haven't measured it, but it's really big. And this is a design by CJ Designs. She makes the most spectacular, beautiful crochet blankets. And I started using her designs a lot because the color combination, it's always beautiful. So this is one of her designs. And for this one, I used the exact colors that she used in her sample. So this is made entirely out of Bernat blanket. And it's two colors, so a cream color and a variegated color. And let me show you the yarn. So this yarn is from my stash. So this is the yarn that I used. So Bernat yarn, which is a super bulky number 6. And the crochet hook that I used is the recommended crochet hook, which is an 8mm crochet hook. And this color is called Sailor's Delight. And then I used a neutral color, and I believe this is just a cream color. I don't know, they call it Moonlight Sparkle. But when I started this blanket, I was using a regular Bernat yarn that didn't have a sparkle in it. And I went back to my stash because I had stocked up on this particular yarn and other colors, like plain colors, when Joann's was going out of business. So I bought a bunch of these, and I've just bought them, and I was planning on making some blankets, some plushies, but this blanket has consumed a lot of yarn. So I had 4 in the plain, or the ones that don't have a sparkle, and then I ran out halfway. I don't even think that I looked at how much yarn I needed for this blanket because I was just following a tutorial. But I also loved the way the color combination looked, and so I decided to do the same exact colors that CJ Designs used. And so I ran out halfway, and so I had to go back to my stash, and I only had the one that has a sparkle in it. So this blanket is, half of it is plain, and the rest of it is sparkle yarn. But it's a gift for my daughter, so I think she won't mind that. But I'm sure she's gonna say, ooh, I wish it was all this sparkly color, because it's just a subtle sparkle in there that makes the blanket look really nice. But typically, I would not buy this yarn. So to me, it looks a little bit dull, but I don't know how designers do it. Once it's paired with this one, it transforms this yarn and it looks really, really nice. And so that's why I decided to stick with the same colors that she was using for her samples. And so I went to Michael's and I bought this one because I didn't have any variegated, and I didn't have this one in my stash because I would not have bought it just to add to my stash. But once you pair it with this plain one and do this pattern, it looks spectacular. So this one is called Sailor's Delight. So I bought 4 of these from Michael's, and I used up the 2 and almost a half, and that's what I have left. And then I have these extra hose skein, which I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And then I think I used 4 of the plain ones, and then I used 2, and I think this was the 3rd one. So I've only used a little bit from here. So it takes a lot of yarn. So it's a good blanket to do a stash basting project, which I love a lot. And I think my plan is going to be, I still have a ton of this yarn left. And so my plan is to go back and just do a plain, I think initially I was going to do like a color block. So I have this color, and then I have a nice light color, like a blue, but not this shade, a very nice shade of blue. So I was going to do like a cream, a blue, and then a cream, and then it was going to be like a color blocked blanket in a regular double crochet design. So, but when I saw this blanket, I decided that this is what I wanted to make. And so that's how I ended up going to Michael's to get this yarn and then using up what's in my stash, because I also want to focus a lot on using up the stuff that's in my stash, because I have a lot of yarn in my stash and I'm trying to use up most of it. And so this year is going to be another year that you see a lot of projects that are I've used yarn from stash, but I also want to start using my wool collection, because I have a lot of wool and I kind of just put it on the side and look at it, and I don't use it as much as I do use the acrylic yarn. And I've discovered that my collection, or my stash, my wool stash, has really grown. So this year I think I'm going to be working on like a scrappy wool blanket. And it's not going to be really scrappy, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold, I have a lot of fingering weight. I'm going to hold a fingering weight with another fingering weight, and then I'm going to crochet a blanket and, you know, just go from there. So this was a very enjoyable project, and I love that I used up a lot of my yarn that is in my stash, and I still have a lot left that I plan on working on other designs. And hopefully I'll be sharing with you soon, some of that soon. I discovered that I really enjoy working on blankets. And if you had asked me that like maybe a couple of years ago, I would have said that my favorite thing to do is knit socks or knit sweaters or just knit. But for some reason, I'm really enjoying crocheting. But the thing that I enjoy crocheting most is blankets. And last year I was able to complete 7 blankets, and I didn't know how I did it. I wasn't even paying attention. I just kept working on blankets and crocheting different ones. And when I counted what I had worked on last year, it was a total of 7 blankets. So this year I'm going to be working on a ton of blankets again, and I'm going to be using up yarn from my stash again. And so I have a nice lineup. I have some ideas of some of the blankets that I want to work on, but I also sometimes it just, you know, I see something, I see a picture of something, I see a new design, and I decide that that's what I'm gonna make. So I'm not entirely sure about everything that I'm gonna make, but I see a lot of blankets in my making this year, and I am so excited because I want to try a few different designs that I've seen recently. But I also have I have a crochet blanket in mind. I think I have like a couple of crochet blankets in mind, and then I have one knitting blanket in mind. But this blanket is going to be just a stitch pattern that I really love, and I've knitted hearts, and so I'm planning to turn it into a blanket. And so that will be maybe kind of my long-term project, because I'm going to be using a bulky weight number 5, but it's a fluffy yarn, so it's category 5, bulky 5, but I think it's fluffy. If it's categorized as bulky number 5 because it's fluffy, but when you're knitting or crocheting with it, it doesn't feel like a number 5. So, but I'm planning to use that to make a blanket, and that's going to be coming up soon. So leave a comment below and let me know what you're planning this year, or if you've already finished a project, or just what are you working on? Are you crocheting? Are you knitting? Are you sewing? Because sometimes I sew. I don't sew as much as I used to, but I do a little bit of sewing. So leave a comment below and let me know what you're working on. Whatever you're working on, whether you're knitting or you're crocheting, I hope that you are having a wonderful time. And until next time, happy knitting and happy crocheting.